I want to know if you're as angry as I am. Are you as fed up as I am? We seriously have a large number of people on Capitol Hill who are supposed to be representing you who want to, and this is not a joke, impeach the President of the United States. There are others who go even further and who are prepared to use the most outrageous accusations against the 45th President of the United States. I want to show you a video clip from CNN. It's, of course, from a Obama White House official, somebody I'd never heard of before, some woman who worked in the National Security Council, who now has a platform on CNN and literally compares Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler. Play video cut 1.
Well, his statement makes me sick. On a personal level, preserving our heritage, reclaiming our heritage, that sounds a lot like a certain leader that killed members of my family and about 6 million other Jews in the 1940s. But on a national security level, the president talks about preserving our heritage as a catch-all for implementing policies that misallocate resources. He pretends that there are massive flows of illegal immigrants coming over our borders and is spending billions of dollars on a border wall emergency instead of paying attention to real national security threats. He sounds a lot like despotic leaders that have talked about white heritage and white nationalism around the world and is putting resources in the wrong place and pretending that there are foreign people trying to influence our country in a way that just isn't accurate.
Who does that speak to?
It speaks to his base.
If you voted for Donald Trump, she's calling you a fascist as well. She's calling you a white supremacist, and she's calling you, by dint of your being in the base, somebody who supports a Nazi. This is at the same time that Donald Trump's daughter is an Orthodox Jew. His son-in-law, who happens to be his highest ranking advisor, is likewise Jewish, and his grandchildren are Jewish. This is the man who, after 23 years of broken promises, decided it is the right thing for America to keep its promises and to move our embassy to Jerusalem and recognize that city as the capital of the eternal state of Jerusalem. It's an outrage. And not only is it an outrage that this person has a platform to do what she's doing on CNN, but did you hear, or if you were watching, did you see the host provide zero resistance, zero pushback, not even to her less outrageous but all the more fallacious statements that the president is lying about lots of people coming across the border, like the 136% increase, according to the Department of Homeland Security, for the current fiscal year, or the 276,000 criminal aliens that were booked into local jails between 2011 and 2018, or the 10,000 gang members who were arrested by ICE last year. That's what the president is inventing. And it's not just nameless nobodies on CNN. I'm going to play an audio cut now that comes from Senator Chris Murphy. You may have heard of Senator Chris Murphy. He got in trouble because he didn't pay his mortgage for a year and a half. And somehow that just disappeared. And then he got onto the Finance Committee. This is what Senator Chris Murphy says about the current chances of the President of the United States getting impeached. Cut 4.
But you are also right that the ultimate check is impeachment. And what we know is that the president's behavior has already crossed the threshold of what was brought for impeachment before the House in the Nixon administration and the Clinton administration. In fact, he crossed those thresholds in the first weeks or months of office. And so that is another means, if these other means fail, to control this president.
To control this president? What do you mean control this president? Where does it say that in the Constitution, that you control the person elected by 63 million Americans? There's checks and balances. There's division of power, but you, Senator Murphy, and the Senate don't get to control the elected president. And you seriously just said that within weeks of entering office, he'd exceeded the crimes committed by President Clinton and President Nixon, who were impeached or had impeachment proceedings started against them. What exactly were those crimes? If you're a Democrat and you're listening, give us a call. I want to know. The number is 833-33-GORKA, Gorka. That's 833-334-6752. What are the crimes that have been investigated now for more than 2 years by Robert Mueller? What are they going to impeach the president for exactly? I'd love to know, because as somebody who worked for him, I have no idea. Having a meeting with a Russian lawyer is not a crime. Talking to the Russian ambassador is not a crime. So what are you going to impeach him for? If you voted for Hillary Clinton, if you're a Bernie bro, give us a call. If you voted for the president, if you believe in rule of law, I have a question for you, dear listener. How angry are you? How fed up are you? Have you had enough? That's what I want to know.